the importance of being in your child's life. And it's very important to be in your child's life. Because if you're not in your child's life, 10 times out of 10, you have a dark cloud over your head. It don't matter the agenda, feel me? It don't matter who the person is. The moment you brought this child into this world, that's your responsibility. I don't give a fuck what you say or how you take it. Literally, that's your responsibility. And of course, if you do not take care of your responsibilities, you always put yourself into a situation of receiving the short end of the stick. And of course, things may look perfect and beautiful for you now, but 10 times out of 10, that child has way more power over you. And of course, that's your creation. And remember, you are the creator. So whatever you bring into this world, you got to take care of it, especially if it's a child. And of course, your gift can come in all shapes and forms. So it don't really matter how you portray the shit. Regardless of the matter is you taking care of the situation. And of course, this is a positioning that plays out on all magnitudes. That's why certain individuals can't maintain a child or cannot pretty much put themselves into a positioning of taking care of the child because they was in the wrong frequency, the wrong vibration. They was in a beast mode. That means they wasn't predicated towards building a foundation. Their foundation was just out here fucking and sucking, getting glorified in their desires. And of course, once you get too glorified into your goddamn desires, you put yourself into a situation of bringing a child into this world. Now you can bring a good child into this world, or you can bring a demon into this world. Now that's up to you. And of course, this is supposed to be planned. And of course, things supposed to be planned out. So if you know what you're doing, you know when you're releasing this out of her, you know these are the expectations. So it shouldn't be a dumb situation to put yourself into the same category, knowing that these precipitations that we basically endure on are very powerful. And of course, when you are out here having sex, just know you are creating, and of course, your creations is very and highly important to you. Now, it ain't nothing wrong with you doing, but of course, once that child come out that goddamn belly, it's up to you to take care of that child. And of course, everything leaves on your hands. And of course, putting blood on your hands is basically lacking what you brought into this world. And of course, what you bring into this world can help you or break you. And of course, 10 times out of 10, having a child can actually help you and better you into your situation, especially if you know what the fuck you're doing. But of course, if you put yourself into a situation of not being there for that child, of course, that child is going to be feeling some type of way. And when that child starts feeling some type of way, just know you are putting yourself into a situation of bringing catastrophic situations into your life, because that child is pretty much a piece of you, a big piece of you too. And remember, that child is forever going to be attached to you. And just know that shit, apparently, no matter how you take it, no matter if you leave this world, whatever existence that you basically walk into, that child is still a responsibility to you. And just because you may not be in that child's life still, does not mean that that responsibility is going to come to you in no way, shape, or form. It will come to you. It may not come to you in that situation, but it's definitely going to come into you into a way where you will not be able to actually abstain this. You will basically be running away from this. And what happens when you keep running away from something? The bigger the cloud, the bigger the orb. And of course, all that shit get heavy. All that shit get put onto you. And of course, when things get too heavy, you can't uptake it. So that's why it's always important to take care of the situations that you put yourself in immediately. Never block yourself out of the situation. Make sure you take care of the situation up front. And of course, be there for that child. Being there for that child is going to grant you all the wishes. And of course, even if you a single mother, shout outs to all the single mothers and single parents that's basically out here doing it. If you in the situation of raising that child on your own, just know all the gifts and fruits and fortunes are basically coming your way. And of course, the person that want to be ghost, person that want to basically be behind the scenes and hiding in the motherfucking closet, they're going to get the worst reciprocation back into their life. Because of course, they the ones that put themselves into that hex. So they got a big hex on them now. They got a big cloud on them now. They're not in the situation of taking care of their responsibilities and their duties and obligations. So of course, They're going to be experiencing some limitations in their life, some restrictions in their life, until they get their shit right together. And 10 times out of 10, this is always playing out every day, where people is getting put on some child care. And of course, when you get put onto child care, it means you didn't put yourself into a situation of taking care of your child. If you was upfront and personal and knew what you was getting yourself into, you wouldn't be in that situation. And of course, stop making it seem like it ain't your responsibility. You went inside of that woman. You planted a seed in her. And of course, wherever you plant your seeds, it's going to grow. And remember, you need to be planting good seeds when you plant the seed in her. Don't just be out here planting fucking seeds just because the pussy feel good, just because it's wet, just because you win. And of course, just because you diving in it doesn't really mean that, okay, by the way, I'm going to take my shot, I'm going to shoot my shot. If you're going to shoot your shot, know what you're shooting your shot for. And of course, that child, again, can help you or break you. And remember, this always plays out into all magnitudes in life. So of course, you better have the right approach, the right aim, the right shape to basically take that form and take that shape and of course, build with it, create it, and of course, curve with it. Because if you're curving with the wrong shapes, the wrong forms, you're not going to find the treasure in the puzzle. The puzzle going to be all fucked up. And when things get fucked up, all hell break loose. And you don't want hell breaking loose on you. You're supposed to be controlling your hell. The moment you don't control your hell is the moment you are in a situation of getting deeply rooted into your hell. Which means that you didn't take care of your responsibility or your power. Your power was stripped from you. And of course, when something is stripped from you, you're going to be feeling the need to basically go out there and strip and do what you got to do to basically make ends meet. But at the end of the day, you can always change the situation. There's always hope. There's always luck. And of course, that starts with you taking the right reciprocations and the right plans. Be there for that child. That child needs you more than everything. And of course, the child is not going to raise itself. That child ain't going to change his own diaper. The child ain't going to put itself into a better position or a better predicament. And of course, society can raise your child, but society can also damage the child. So it's up to you to basically put that child into a better situation, a better predicament. Don't put them into a situation where they got to strive and do it all on their own and shit, feel me? That child is needed, feel me? And especially times like this, is you really got to really think and put yourself into the right hemisphere to be making sure that, is it really ready to have time? Is it really time to have that child? Is it really considerable for you to basically be taking that risk, knowing that you are ready to basically put yourself into that situation or line up and basically go to war for that child? Is you willing to go to war for that child? Is you willing to fight for that child? Is you willing to sacrifice for that child? If you're not willing to do that for that child, don't associate yourself with that person, that place, that thing, because all you're doing is making matters worse. And of course, when you make things worse, things get worse for you. It may not be that in the positioning in the beginning. Everything is always going to be beautiful, cupcake and cheese in the beginning. But of course, when you go to the real actual place to get what you wanted and needed, it's always some artificial shit, some GMO shit. And of course, this is how these relationships and partnerships is basically playing out now, on some GMO shit. Everybody's on some genetically modified shit. Nobody's real out here. Nobody's natural out here. Nobody's willing to basically do things the right way. Everybody want to do things in the way that society shows them. Everybody want to do things in the way, oh, it looks good here, we should try this first. But nobody's willing to basically do things on a real natural level. And of course, natural means doing things the right way, doing things in your godly manner, not doing things in your demonic manner. Because of course, when shit get too demonic, it's put you into situations of getting too lost into a Lucifer. And of course, once you get too lost into a Lucifer, you get too lost into the fucking mind. And of course, you think your fucking mind is you. You think you the mind, but when you die, then you ain't the fucking mind. Because your mind was controlling you the whole time. You ain't have control over your mind. You was doing things impulsively, not thinking, actually. So of course, this puts you into a fucked up situation. You don't control your life. You don't control shit. You allow the external, outside world to basically control you. And when you let the outside world control you or outweigh you, then of course, you don't have the power to be in a situation to upstand yourself. You got break down, outmatched, outweighed. So that weight, that responsibility that was put upon you, you can't hold that shit. is breaking you down. You wibbling, you shaking, and of course you shaking in your boots. So of course somebody gonna knock you out your boots because you're weak, you soft, and you lazy, and you don't have what it takes to basically make that stride within inside you. You made it seem like it was the end of the world, but you wasn't ready to basically get on that board and push or fight. Feel me? You letting that child down now. You letting your family down now. And of course, you put yourself into that situation. Now you deeply rooted. Now you leaving this world with a whole lot of responsibilities, a whole lot of heaviness, a whole lot of regret. And where are you going? Hell, motherfucker. Your heart is too heavy. Too fucking heavy. You carrying rocks with you. Fucking buildings with you. You ain't loose nothing of that shit up. If you took care of your responsibilities and knew what you was doing, you would be leaving this world very light with nothing to worry about. Your child is going to be all right. Your child is going to be great. You know what I mean? Now you might put yourself into a situation of being reborn through your child. That's how real shit get. So never put yourself into a situation of having guilt or regrets. But just know you're going to have to take care of that motherfucking child. And that's real shit. Never ever get that off your mind. You feel me? That shit ain't going to ever leave you. Remember that. Remember that shit. Look yourself in the mirror every fucking day. How the fuck can you look yourself into the mirror every day knowing that you're not in that child life? Knowing that you pretty much was absent from that child. You real fucked up person. And of course, you're going to hold that shit in. Now, you can do things the right way, or you can do things the hard way. But of course, it's up to you. And of course, you have the power to basically change it. You have what it takes to maintain and change the situation and change how that child really feel about you. That child gonna feel some way about you. Just know that shit. When that child get older and realize you wasn't in their life, it even gets even worse. And also, remember, you may not have some association with that child. You may not be talking to that child. You may not even have no connection with that child. But just know, you're gonna manifest nightmares in your life. You're gonna manifest a Joey Cloud in your life. And that Joey Cloud gonna follow you. That cloud gonna get bigger. Every fucking day that cloud gonna get bigger until you change the situation and be in that child life. That cloud gonna get real big. You don't want that big ass cloud on you. Especially knowing the mom is really got the mother of that child even got a cloud on you, and that child got a cloud on you. You know how many worlds is on you right now? You got it fucked up if you thinking you're gonna get out of here sweet. It ain't gonna happen like that. No way, no shape, no form. And believe that shit. Better believe that shit, feel me? Always know that shit. So you never loose, feel me? The chains will never get loose for you until you change the situation and the environment you put yourself through that personality, that child. And of course, you do things for pleasure, it's cool. But them pleasures can lead you to a bad way and a fucked up situation if you ain't willing to basically take the reciprocations on catering towards that child. So just know, being in that child life is highly important and highly recommended. So never think you get in the way with situations like that. Feel me? It's fucked up, yeah. But just know that when it's time to make matters work and to make ends meet, your responsibility and your aim in her egg is to be predicated towards how you want to bring that child into this life and how that child is gonna fucking help you. Because your child is a gift, feel me? And you are the creators, both of y'all. So whatever y'all created, that's gonna create that third person, feel me? So just know what the fuck you doing when you make that motherfucking move. And never neglect that child. Take care of that child. That's real shit, feel me? Don't be out here fucking around, feel me? It's one thing to be out here fucking around doing all this other shit, but it's one most important thing to basically take care of that child and be there for that child, no matter what the situation. No matter if y'all even together, still be in that child life. Feel me? Fuck the situation about what's going on, how y'all fighting this shit. What's more important is being in that child life, seeing that child, calling that child, being there for that child. Feel me? That child gonna love you for that. You better believe that shit. Feel me? But don't be out here in a situation of making it seem like you can't be there for that child just because y'all not talking or y'all not on good terms. That's bullshit, feel me? That child is what pretty much matters at this point, feel me? Fuck all that other petty bullshit, stupid shit that got going on, feel me? You got too childish to basically put yourself into a situation. And why did you even be with that person in the first place? If you knew that person was childish, you knew that person wasn't for you, if you knew you didn't see yourself having a commitment or a life or a term with this person, why bother? Take care of that fucking child.